Well, today what I'm going to be doing is testing out these Resincrete kits. Now, you know I love Resincrete. It is brilliant. By far the best casting powder out there. Because it's so liquidy, then it gets into all the nooks and crannies of any mold. I've done this one before, and I'll link the video for this at the end of this one because I do love this set. But today I'm going to use the little dish set that comes with a coaster, a little heart, and a little dish, and everything else you need in it. And I'm also going to do the little cutie angels and these hanging flowers. They don't look very big on that picture, and I thought they were going to be tiny like pendants, but actually when I got into the mold and the kit, I realised how nice a size they are. And the kits come with enough Resincrete to fill up, the paints, a little mixing stirring stick, paint little tray, and also some cord to hang them up with, and your measuring cup. Now I'm going to show you the easiest way to fill these. I've probably used these tips and tricks in other videos, but we'll put them all in here as well. So I like to work on a piece of card or a flat base like this. It comes with full instructions on how to do it, but once you've done it once, to be perfectly honest, then you'll be fine. You won't have any issues. So each one of these bags is 250 grams, so all you need to do is add 75 mils of water. So what I would suggest is you measure out your water first, because I find it works much better to actually add your water to your Resincrete rather than your Resincrete to your water. Much better. So there's no weighing or anything needed on this one. Pour your Resincrete into your cup. You might think, oh no, that cup is too small. But watch when you put your water in and give it a bit of a mix down. You will find that will actually go a lot smaller. Well, not a lot smaller, but there's enough room in that cup is what I'm trying to say. Now give it a good mix. You get about 8 minutes of working time with this, and you can demold within 30 minutes of pouring it. But I would recommend for molds like this that have got some really nice delicate bits that actually you leave it a little bit longer than that. Make sure you've got no lumps in there and everything's mixed up. Now all I do is pour that in there like that. Now I'm not going to fill it right up to start with because I want to do some tappy wappy on the sides and some jiggly wiggly and some squidgy widgy, and then I can fill it up a little bit more. Let's fill this one up as well. And then because I've got it on a board, I can give them a shake. And this really helps release any bubbles that may be trapped in there. Now, you can go in with your finger. This is all natural product. Got no added chemicals or anything in it. Put a bit more in this one. So one of those bags fills all of these molds. With that kit, you're going to be able to make 8 of these. I will link where you can get additional Resincrete from at a great price, probably with a discount code if I've got one. And then you can just buy replacement Resincrete and you don't have to worry about buying the whole kit again. And now we've got all those full, what we'll do is we'll give it a gentle shake. See, look, bubbles have popped up already. Gentle shake this way and that way. Any overpour we can just scrape back in, or where it's flooded out, or that will come off really easily, or you can sand it as well because this sands brilliantly. And then put it to one side and let that cure up. So the angel kit comes with the 2 angel molds and 3 bags of Resincrete, and this is 200 grams in each bag, so you only need 60 ml of water for this. And we'll get these casted as well. Now when you've got something a little bit deeper like this rather than the shallow mold, you don't necessarily need to work on a piece of card because you can give these a really good squidgy widgy. And I'll give you a bit of a tip here for the deeper mold. So I'm going to put all that in there, get my water in there, and give that the mix round. Now never be tempted to use an electric mixer for this or anything like that because it will just cure up instantly. It is not designed to be mixed with anything that's electric. It's only designed to be mixed by hand. And now we've got that in there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some in there first, not too deep, not fill it up, and now I'm going to go around and give it some squidgy widgy to ensure that I've got it in every little gap as I can. Now this will cure really white, and if you put paint directly on it, it will absorb the paint and you'll need several coats of paint to be able to paint it. But I'm going to show you a trick that will stop you having to do that completely and allow you to have a much nicer finished covering of the paint on top of it. So I'll show you that towards the end when we come to paint these. You're going to be able to make 6 of these with what's just in the kit. We're all okay there. These will wash out, but my advice is don't wash any of this down the sink ever. Always let it dry, crack it out of the pot, and then wipe it up, because you can use these pots lots and lots of times. So now we've done that, what we'll do is we will make these little dishes out as well, and we've got these 3, but with this kit comes a whole bag of Resincrete, so it's 1,000 grams of Resincrete, and this is the size that you can buy if you want to continue with any of your other molds and your other kits. It's not like some kits, once you've used everything in there, you can't get the supplies, because you can easily get hold of this, and you can get it in 1,000 grams, 3,000 grams, or 5,000 gram bags, depending on where you live. This also comes with your coloured paints, so we can have a bit of fun with colouring this as well. Now, I would always strongly recommend that you work on a mat like this, a nice silicone mat. And this one here with my name on it is actually from my resin kit, and I'll link that in the description below. It's a great value kit, and it comes with this giant mat as well as lots of other things that you can use when you're using resin or Resincrete. But great value as well. So I'm going to do a marbling effect in each one of these because I've done all those ones so they're white. And what I always do is I mix myself up a little bit of Resincrete first, and then I choose my colours. Now, one here has only got a little bit in, and that is because I'm going to do quite a dark colour in that. And then the other ones, I'm going to have more lighter colours in. Now, you don't have to do it like this. I just like it done like this. It seems to allow the actual marbling pattern to stay much better in the thing. So I'll give those a quick mix up. And they're my first colours. And while I'm mixing up my Resincrete for the final finish, these will be going slightly thicker, and as a result, I find they marble a little bit better. That's a vibrant colour if I've ever seen one. And I'm going to be using a large bowl, and this is the bowl that comes with my kit. So now I've got my Resincrete mixed up, what I'm going to do is these thicker colours, I'm going to pour those in like this all the way through, and a little bit of black. I'm not going to do too much black. And then I'm going to give those a bit of a stir so the marbling happens inside this Resincrete that I'm going to pour like that. And then I can pour this in. I've got 1 or 2 little lumps in there. I'm going to take those out. I don't want those in there. And then fill it up like that. And then leave this to cure for about 30 minutes. These ones don't need to be left longer because they are quite thick and they're not as delicate as those flower ones that we've already done. Well, these should all be cured enough now. They've all had plenty of time, and the little delicate ones. Now, really take them out the mould gently, because at this stage they are still going to be damp and they're not ready to be painted. As much as it would be great fun to just go ahead and paint these straight away, you need to let them dry out. Oh, look at that. That is so beautiful. And look at all the details in that one. Oh, the same with that one. I love it. They really have come out with some great details in them. You can use these molds over and over again, and there's no reason why you can't use these molds for resin either. You know, if you want to interchange them and use them for resin, you can. Just make sure you give them a good clean afterwards. They've all come out beautiful. I'm really pleased with those. So let's have a look at the little angel kit. Now, be careful with this one because it's got some little delicate bits on it. So make sure that you pull it away really careful. Oh, it's a little cherub look. Beautiful. Now, I over poured here slightly, so you can either go round with a little blade like this while it's still a bit damp and scrape that off, or you can wait until it's fully dry and then go round it with either a little bit of sandpaper or a nail file like this. But it's just where I've over poured. I want to soften that off a little bit, but there we go. So that's that done. Smooth that off now, and then we can go with some fine sandpaper once it's completely dry. But that little cherub is so cute. Now this angel, if I remember rightly, it has some kind of little horny bits sticking here. So be careful with those, because again, this is going to be fragile in this state. But this mold is quite a flexible mold, which is great, ideal for this. That's why it's been chosen. And they should just pull out. It's some little tiny ears. And again, that one has come out beautifully. I'm going to show you how to speed up the drying of these, so actually you can paint them within about 3 hours. And this is the marble one. Always a surprise to me how the marble's going to come out each time. Oh, that's come out really, really pretty. Very different to how it is there, but as it dries, that will darken slightly. Oh, I do like that. So now we would normally have to leave these 3 to 5 days before before we could paint them or varnish them. And I'm also going to show you a way to seal them before painting so that you can get away with just 1 or 2 coats. So what I'm going to use is my big Resin's curing machine. Now this is designed for tumblers to speed up the curing of resin tumblers, but as you know, I've adapted that for my own use and made a little door for it. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time for so many different things. And all I'm going to do is place these around like this. Now, if you haven't got one of these, put them in your airing cupboard, put them in somewhere that's really, really warm, and it'll cure them up much, much quicker. Massive thank you to all my members whose names are coming up now. And if you'd like to become a member of my channel and benefit immensely from all the perks of membership, then the link for that is in the description below. So all I'm going to do, pop the door on that, and I'm going to turn that on for 3 hours, and then it will be ready for me to paint those once they come out. These are all dry now and ready to paint, so it didn't take long, about 4 hours in total to dry these enough to be able to paint. Now before I paint them, because these are so absorbent, what I do is I seal them first, and I have what I call a PVA sealer, and it's just white glue and water. It's a 1-to-1 mix, and then this will absorb into the Resincrete itself. Use a soft brush to put it on with, and make sure you go all the way over everything. It'll absorb into the Resincrete itself and give it a great seal, and it means the paint will adhere to it much better and not be absorbed into it, and you have to give less coats of paint and you get a much more solid finish to it. Big thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. As my members will know, I've not had a great January and February due to personal issues, illness, family deaths and things. So it really has helped support this channel and keep me going. Thank you. And I love the messages that people write when they buy me a coffee. So when you buy me a coffee, please leave me a little message. I love reading them. It makes me feel so much better. So that's nicely coated and that will dry. Now regarding these ones, and I think the marble effect came out really well. You can do 1 or 2 things with these. You can varnish them with a weak solution of varnish, or you can seal them using this same sealing method. And this actually will give it a bit of a shine once it's dry, but you will need 2 coats of this. I love how that's come out, and you never get the same look twice. So now they're sealed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to varnish with gloss varnish half of this, and then you'll see the massive difference it makes, how it really brings out the colours and everything else. It really gives it a completely different look. Because we've sealed that well, this varnish is not going to soak into the Resincrete at all. If I've got any discount codes for this, I will leave them in the description below for you so you can make the most of it. Well, that's finished now. Well, half of it's finished, but you can really see the difference in the colours. Look at that. It makes such a big difference varnishing it. Now, if you don't want to use a gloss varnish, you can use a satin varnish, and that will give you a really nice effect as well. But those colours are really coming out. I love it. I just love the way it looks when it's been varnished. And then that would be nice and sealed as well. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you check out the video that I've got coming up next. I think you'll love it as well. These Resincrete kits are a great place to start with things like this if you're looking to get into some arts and crafts on your own or with your kids. Take care. Most of all, enjoy your resin. Bye.